Hello guys. So I'm in nature, even though I'm in my car right now. But where I'm parked, the sun is rising up. It just came over the tree line, and the sunlight is it's shining across a strip of open field, just random brush and grass. And the way I can't show because the camera's locked on the thing, but the way the sunlight is skimming the top of the uh greenery, and the bottom half of it is still covered in shadow because of the tree line. I was just sitting here and I thought the way that the light and the energy, the energy of the sun is shining on this scene in front of me is just very serene and very peaceful and beautiful. um I guess the colors are what popped out to me because the like I said, the bottom half of the shrubbery and the grass and that's tall grass, it's covered in shadow, but the upper portion is covered in the light. So I get a contrast of dark green, and then the top parts are very vibrant light green where the sunlight is hitting the top. And so it's like someone came out here and painted a strip of light green across everything, and it looks really I think it looks really pretty scenic, pretty beautiful here. And I'm nowhere special. I'm just out in a random empty warehouse parking lot near where I live. There was a guy earlier walking his dog. He walked by the car and then gave me a really weird look, and I saw through my mirror, and then he walked away and I guess disappeared. So my guess is that other people live around here too, obviously. And this morning, I guess someone happened to be out here walking their dog. But I don't know. The energy didn't feel right with that man, but he just kept walking. And see, when things like that happen, I'm never concerned about being bothered or anything bad happening to me. I can hold my own. But it's just the fact that they're intruders pretty much. They're like entering my space where I'm completely alone. No cars in sight, no people in sight, just a huge empty open space behind a warehouse, between the warehouse and then the neighborhood where there's homes over there, which are covered by trees, so I can barely see the homes too. So it's like I'm completely alone. And yeah, that kind of caught me off guard when he walked through, but first time I've seen him in through here. But anyways, and then to the right of me is a graveyard. Well, there's like a mini ranch. It has some people with there's another green space with full of cows, and then next to that's a graveyard. So I got neighborhood, graveyard, ranch, or like it's like a small area. I don't know where the cows come from, but it's neighborhood, graveyard, ranch, warehouse, and then over there's apartments. So, and this is I found this place probably about 6 months ago. I don't come here often though, because it's in the middle of a kind of a busy area where I live, but that's why I like this place. It's the only solitude place where every time I come here, the parking lot's empty, there is no people, and I get this nice green space right here in front of me, and it's just huge. It spans probably for like half a mile, and it's really nice. But what I'm doing out here today is you know what, I guess my channel's kind of I'm all over the place right now, if you can tell, but my channel is meant to help other people who are resonating with my situation and my life. And it's supposed to be like, it's a hodgepodge of everything. It's me reading Bible scripture and talking about spirituality, the messages I get from the Most High. And then there's me just sharing what's on my mind, my thoughts. Then there's me just sharing my personal life. And then there's me like sharing my ideas. And then like the sixth part of this channel, I feel like there's like 6, 7 parts to this whole channel I have. It's a hodgepodge, and the last part is the vlogs. I feel like what I'm doing right now is vlogging, but I'm not really vlogging. I'm just kind of, you know, I'm just kind of speaking my mind while I can. As y'all know, I am in college. It starts back up again in today's the 13th, so 2 days. My session B starts for this semester. So yesterday I was at home. I think I made a video, and then I was working on getting ahead, like reading the syllabus and stuff. But then today, what I'm doing out here right now is I'm killing time because I recently got a job, but I got canned because of something that happened. Today's Monday, and I got canned because of something that happened on Saturday. So, I'm supposed to, what I did is I went online and I immediately just started trying to get more, find another job. So like I applied to a couple of grocery stores. I applied to a movie theater. But I applied to movie theaters before and I got the interviews, but I never got in, so I probably won't get in there. And then I applied to 7-Eleven because I've worked fast food before, like McDonald's and Taco Bell, and it was a nightmare. And back when I was in high school, I worked at Taco Bell, and so I felt like, oh, I have experience there. I can just work there again. 6 years, fast forward 5, 6 years later, I can work there again. No, it was I could not. It wasn't that I couldn't do the work. It's that the environment and the people were being very like dishonest with me and corrupt. I was working graveyard at Taco Bell once, and this is before my previous job. Like my most recent job, Taco Bell was a job before that. And when I started back up at Taco Bell again, because I worked at Taco Bell in high school, and then I worked a bunch of other jobs, and then Taco Bell again recently, and then recently is Target. But back up to Taco Bell, what I was saying is I worked the graveyard shift, and people were calling out left and right. And it was my second week there, and the managers were being the manager and the lead who had actually trained me was basically being really negative, saying things like oh, it's gonna be a long night, it's gonna do this, we're gonna have to do that. And I was just like, okay, sounds good. And then I was like, so you'll let me go at 4:30 in the morning, right? Like I can clock out at 4 a.m. though, because I work a full 8 hours, and I need to get home and sleep so I can get up and do more. I have a life too. I have a school and stuff. And he basically said, yeah, of course, like we'll follow your schedule. Turns out that while we're at work, or while we're working, the other coworker, other guy who was there, they let him go 2 hours early because he said he had to leave. And they're like, sure, you can go. And we were already short 2 people. They let him go at 2:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, around there. And it was just the manager, myself, and then the shift lead. And I didn't say anything when I saw that happen, but I kind of felt like, why are they letting this guy go? All right, cool. So then 4:30 rolls around, and they show no signs of talking about me, like, good night, you can go home now, thanks for all your help today. Nothing, none of that. Just, they didn't even care. So I walked up to my supervisor. Manager was in the back doing something. I walked up to my supervisor and I said, hey man, it's 4:30. I think I should bounce. I'm gonna bounce. Like, I'm gonna clock out. And he just stood there and looked at me, like, didn't say anything. He just stared at me. And he's like, I'll be here all by myself until like 7 in the morning. And then I looked at him, I'm like, yeah, I get cool. Like, have fun, man. Like, you have music. Like, he was playing music really loud and everything. And he just stood there staring at me still. And he didn't say anything. He just stared at me though, like stared at me really hard. No expression, no smile, no frown. Just give me a blank look. And then before I turned around, I was like, "Yeah, it's 4:30, I think." And I pulled out my phone and looked, and it was like 4:36 or something. And all right, I'm gonna clock out. And he just stood there, and he's like, "You know how to clock out, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I clocked out, and then the store is locked up because it's 4 a.m. And I said, all right, have a good night." And then he just like walked out of the kitchen and kind of like stood there staring at me. And then as I just turned around and kept walking out of the store, and then as I left, I heard him like yelling something really loud to the manager because the manager was in the back, probably doing some computer work or something. And yeah, so next time I came in, they told me that when we're short people, I'm gonna have to stay late even if my schedule says I can leave at a certain time. And so I said, "But all right, but this doesn't seem very reasonable because um what do you think about letting people go early when we're short-handed? And what do you think about enforcing policies where people keep calling out 3 days in a row and they're not sick because no one said that these people were sick, they just didn't they called out." I was like, "How do you feel about enforcing that stuff?" And this guy, I don't think he cared because I was new and like, he just didn't care. And the manager was kind of like, he just isn't really involved. So I ended up putting in my like a week. No, I gave like a week or less than a week notice, and I left. I quit. And then my most recent job, I got canned because on Saturday I caused a workplace accident. Um, like we had a 2600 load truck. Usually it's like 2000, but Saturday it was 2600. And I stacked a thing too high, apparently, like those carts, and the box hit someone and like hit his body in like three different places. Like two boxes hit. I guess they were heavy boxes because he ended up being injured. All right, I understand, like he was probably hurt. Those boxes were pretty heavy, so he had to leave work immediately. And they told me that he was gonna have to get compensation because he couldn't come back into work for like 3 weeks or more. So I got canned because I'm still new. I was still new at Target, and um, I guess I don't know. I was like, y'all, just they didn't. I was a liability. So stuff. So what I'm doing now, fast forward to today, is like I said, I applied to a bunch of jobs, and I got emailed from 7-Eleven saying, we want us to have an interview with you at 9 a.m. today. So I woke up really early and got ready, and then uh, I'm just kind of killing time right now because I don't like to leave the house like right before I go to an appointment or to an interview, or the only time I leave the house, right, like allowing travel time, of course, but the only time I leave the house right, like later, like right when I'm supposed to leave is what I mean, is when I have to go to work and I already know the travel distance, and I already worked out my schedule, my timing. Like I time things pretty well, so by the time I get dressed and uh, you know I don't eat breakfast. Well, sometimes I do, but by the time I get dressed or shower and get in the car and drive there, I arrive at work or at my appointment right on time, like slightly early and or right on time. So today, excuse me, my throat just giving me trouble. I don't know why, but today have an interview, and so I'm just chilling in this quiet space trying to, you know, And I've gotten job interviews before where the people say I'm hired and they'll call me back and they'll email me with the paperwork and the onboarding, or they'll give me a call, and they never do. I never hear back. This happened when I applied to Pizza Hut. I went to Pizza Hut and I got hired. The guy said, "Yeah, well, you're gonna work here, but you know what? You can pick your schedule. Like, we're gonna give you some time slots that you want to work, and we'll just let you pick because we don't really need any morning or evening people, but we'll hire you on." So I said, "Oh, that's great. Like, this is great. I get to pick my hours. It's kind of close to home, so I'm not stuck in traffic all the time." And I heard nothing from this man, this manager. He was the assistant manager, actually. So I called on the phone, and he said call him. So I called him on the phone once, and then the other manager picked up, and I said, "Hey, I need to talk to the manager who hired me." He said to give him a call, and like they put me on hold, and 5 minutes later they come back and they're like, "He's not available." I'm like, "Oh, he's not? No, he's not available. All right, that's fine." The next day, I drive there and walk in person. The manager's there, at work or at the front. He's like helping customers. I say, "Hey, I'm Jeff. I had an interview with you, back when this happened. Um, uh, when can I start?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna email you the paperwork and the onboarding stuff because I had to fill a couple things out." And I said, "All right." And I said, "Did you get my phone call? I left a message with the other manager. I called and said, hey, um, you said to give you a call. So I did that." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I'll email you the things. I'll email you." And then he kind of like was in a hurry and just like walked away. And so after that, I still didn't hear back from him, got no emails, no phone calls. So I gave up on that. I walked away from Pizza Hut. All right, that was a while ago before I worked at Target. So I don't know. It's like I'm not angry, I'm not bitter, I'm not resentful at all. I know this is just this is part of who I am. This has happened before too, where people say they'll do things for me, or they'll call, or they'll email me, or "I'll help you, I'll be right with you, in X amount of minutes or X amount of time," and they never do it. They never show up, they never follow through. And it doesn't matter if these are men or women, it's both genders. I've encountered, in all types of positions, coworkers, managers, supervisors, um, even family members. It's just like, um, I'm at the point where I already expect this. I just think it's really interesting and really funny because sometimes I ask myself, why do I even try anymore? Um, but anyway, I'm not trying to complain to y'all or vent, but consider this to be a vlog, or like what I'm up to right now, and just I'm killing time. I'm gonna go get the interview and then probably go home, because I have to, I'm gonna get ready and for my class still, and probably exercise or something. And but yeah, that sun is really out now. But anyways, y'all, that's what's going on. But hopefully you guys have a good day, and thanks for tuning in if you're watching this video. Um, even if I'm still pretty much a non-existent channel, it still means a lot that you're willing to watch and, learn a little bit about my life, or what I have to say. As always, feel free to, share what you're going through, or in the comments, or, yeah, anything like that. But have a blessed day. Be safe out there. And, I hope that all the people you interact with today, and all the people that you talk to, you'll see the face of Jesus in each one of them. and be patient because they people play a lot of games out here. So take care.